Are you suffering with Hutton burnout? Have your feet gone numb from sitting in a cockpit for too long? Is there a strange smell in your cockpit? Did you spill your coffee last time you were interdicted? At Hutton Orbital, Wanda's Pilots Emporium has everything you need to de-stress after a hard day's trucking. Our patented scrap-built vibrating massage chairs will soothe away your aches and pains. A foot spa and manicure will revitalise you, ready for your next trip. Or simply recline in one of Wanda's spacious hammocks for a much-needed power nap. Whilst you relax, our team of fully insured sanitation agents will scrub the inside of your cockpit, leaving nothing behind but a pleasant smell of fresh linen. Forget about the ship's wear and tear. Take care of yourself at Wanda's, the furthest you'll ever go to relax.
This is a public announcement. Naked flames are prohibited in the vicinity of Cubicle 3. You all know what happened last time. Dave's eyebrows still haven't grown back.
Over at the Hutton Armoury, the modern spacefaring equivalent of blacksmiths are beating ploughshares into multi-cannons, trailer hitches into laser beams, and Grandma's old cutlery into high-explosive rounds. In a separate corner, there's a fitting suite where corpulent post-Christmas commanders are having their Dominator suits let out a little round the middle so as not to chafe quite so much. In the combat training rooms, Commander Rampage is demonstrating the ninja moves necessary to avoid injury from taking the butt of a rifle to the groin area. This involves crouching down with hands over the necessaries and shouting, "Not the family jewels! Please, anything but the family jewels!" Flossy's virtual reality pan simulator is getting plenty of use. Commanders practicing their backswing. Hutton's on a war footing, and enemies should be aware we've got an assortment of dangerous-looking weaponry, and some of us even know which end is the business end. Over in the studio, the radio team have their flak jackets on, emblazoned with the letters M, U, and G, just in case anyone wasn't sure, and popping up from behind the sandbags on the broadcast desk, our compere for the evening says,
"Prepare to go over the top. Our mics are live." Good evening and welcome to an unusually bellicose studio over at the Orbital. I'm General Sir Rudolph Hucker.
I'm Wilma Finger Guns Do. Pew pew.
I'm Wan Flashheart Kerr. Woof!
I'm a pacifist.
And I've got a knife down my sock.
So, yes, I suppose we'd better move along to the headlines. E.g., you're kidding, right? It's war. Again.
Permit unlocked for recognised dock.
Hutton goes Little Red Riding into wolf territory.
Hackswings on the prowl for Tharg. Again.
It's sit-rep time from Hutton.
And I've got more expeditions into the unknown than a 19th century explorer.
If performing the same action over and over again and expecting a different result is the sign of insanity, then the EGU should be checking themselves into the sanatorium over at EGU HQ without delay. Maybe with one of those comfy jackets where you can give yourself a hug, some soft music and padding on the walls. Yes, having failed again in their attempts to overthrow the Paladin Consortium, they've decided they want to give it another go, and once again sent their forces over to both Nabatine and Sugravik to see whether they can blow up in new and interesting ways. Needless to say, your average Hutton trucker, perfectly content with flying to the orbital over and over and over and over again just to drop some scrap off, is perfectly content with repetitive tasks. Fixing 10 stations in 10 days? Ha! Easy street. Repelling Thargoid invasions? Simple. Dropping a mug at every station in the galaxy? All in a day's work. So, truckers everywhere have been popping back to Nabatine and Sugravik, and in an astonishing case of deja vu, the results are Paladin Consortium and friends winning, EGU aren't. The crew were joined in the last 24 hours by the residents of the Old Geezer's Bar, who've kindly returned Cecil to awaiting transport along with the Pool Type 10, and have stayed, courtesy of Commander Scratch My Knackers, to give the enemy a jolly good drubbing whilst they're there. Of course, if that wasn't enough, there are rumours that Snuggles McKeague has been picking a fight all of his own, but more on that later.
The imperial wheels of diplomacy are slow to move, and do have a habit of trundling over people en route to the correct destination, but this week saw their annual New Year's Honours list published, and alongside the usual bevy of imperial cousins, retainers and financial donors, there are a handful of real awards handed out. Hidden amongst the list of names of luminaries from sports, the arts and science is one name of which Hutton thoroughly approves. Dr. Mick of Special Effects Systems, all-round good guy and accessibility legend, he has been inducted into the ranks recognised as a member. This is distinct from titles such as Knight, Duke, King and the like, which are earned by donating enough of your hard-earned cash at any Imperial station, as it can, as with a Hutton mug, only be earned. When Dr. Mick doesn't actually fly himself, he leaves the piloting to Commander Kinrain and his Banter bus and sends him out on regular missions. He's an honorary Hutton trucker, so we're delighted that he has been memberised in this fashion. Commander Kinrain has put the Banter bus in for a refit to build some suitable quarters and bought himself some new gold braid to wear on official membership outings. He's even pressed his suit. There are rumours that becoming a member, as recognised by the Empire, has a few additional privileges. Access to a permit-locked members-only system, use of the members' parking and private bathroom, and of course, monogrammed members' bathrobes. Oh, and a nifty medal. We take this opportunity to thank Dr. Mick for all his sterling work, for assembling a squadron that roam the galaxy, making sure that absolutely everyone, regardless of any physical challenges, is able to fly whatever spaceship they want, except the Panther Clipper. But then again, no one can fly that yet. Hashtag for the mug, Dr. Mick, and remember, if you want us to roll out the red carpet, give us plenty of warning as we'll have to pop out and buy one. Either that or paint the floor.
Commander Snuggles McKeague, Hutton faction manipulator extraordinaire and expert in all things BGS, had a number of news items this week for us. The first arrived a few days ago labelled with an oops, and I didn't know this was a thing. He appeared to have received an incoming message from a local faction stating that they didn't like him very much. In fact, they rather detested him, and that as a result of him being a stinky rotter, they are sending a cleaning crew after him to teach him a lesson. Usually, with such warnings accompany short-term delivery missions or are sent by particularly troublesome pirates who are after your juicy cargo. And after a day or so, they're either space scrap or give up. This warning was different. This warning didn't have a time limit on it, or appear to be limited to just one encounter, bout of fistcuffs, or ship-to-ship action that usually attracts the attention of the police. As luck would have it, he received a second message shortly after with a little tip-off suggesting that if Snuggles broke into a nearby settlement and downloaded some data for the sender, he'd be able to get the Grumpy Faction hunters off his back. Sounds too good to be true? Backed into a corner with no option but to help or be hunted to the ends of the galaxy for all time? Mr. McKeague did the only sensible thing one should do with unsolicited messages of this sort, and put them in his spam folder. Before heading over to whatever he was doing in the first place, and somehow single-handedly completing Phase 1 of Operation Wolf Hunt, whilst Belwyn Darkstar was having a post-Christmas nap, Juan will be bringing us up to speed with things on the wolf hunt. But suffice to say that there's yet another wolf in the fold, and little Snuggles Riding Hood has skipped through the dangerous-looking system without a care in the world, knocked on the door, wandered up to the bedroom, yanked the covers aside, and shouted, "My, Grandma, what big outfitting you've got!"
Incoming encrypted transmission. Decrypting. Decryption complete.
Stand by for a message from Haxcom Actual.
Okay, Hackswing. Yet again, there have been no new attacks this week, so Tharg must be running out of forces or the will to keep stuffing Goids in the grinder. Our top priorities for each nebula are Taygeta in the Pleiades, Muscadark region PJ-P B6-1 in the Coalsack, and Evangelus in the Witchhead. Taygeta is at moderate presence, and the other two are both marginal. We have a real chance to clear some more systems this week. Overall, there are 14 systems still showing a Goid presence, with 3 at marginal, 1 at moderate, 4 at significant, and 6 massive. Check Thargoid.watch for up-to-date status and system priorities. We are making progress, truckers. Keep up the pressure and make old Tharg regret this round of attacks. With no new attacks, there are also no stations needing evacuation, but we still have 15 stations needing repair supplies. Operation Ida's next repair target is Rick's Depot in the Pleiades. They can always use anyone with free cargo space to haul for them. Get more info at operationida.com. That's it for now, Hackswing. Watch out for each other, keep your eyes on the signal sources, and always be ready to defend the mug.
Haxcom message complete. Defend the mug.
Encrypted transmission complete.
.3308 has got off to a banging start in Hutton space with a well-aimed and executed expansion into a system of interest. But more on that story later. It would appear that it took only 2 days for Barnard's Star to give up on its 3308 New Year's resolution of being better, and instead chose the sofa and sweatpants of box set binging that is 35%. Pending civil wars and elections will tie up all but 13% of system influence for much of next week, making it fruitless to try to affect matters now. But for now, keep an eye on the system as a movement should occur soon. The continued slide of Wolf 359 to the low 40s has been compounded by an infrastructure failure affecting all starports and the commodities markets, so shipping water purifiers and power generators to get things back up running and tickety-boo. Don't forget Powell High and Low Mass Orbiter are stations with large pads, so it shouldn't take you long to profiteer like the benevolent capitalists we know you really all are. It can be revealed that Operation Jump Into a Dump was largely a deception cover for Operation Wolf Hunt, which has paid off after many months of careful preparation. We have expanded into Wolf 562, a high-tech system with 2 Coriolis stations, no other player factions, Ignore Black Alliance Industries, they're inactive. Albin is very happy at this news. He barked and wagged his tail a lot in approval and even did a little wee, which of course we immediately blamed on floor mopping Guy. Well, it cuts out the middleman. The war against LP 734-32 Company starts tomorrow, so all that practice pew-pew you've just had for the Paladins will come in very handy. This is a war we must absolutely win, folks. It's been a long time in the making, and the last system we took over, Narnia, was a year ago. When we approached a member of the Hutton BGS Hot Pit team for comment on Operation Wolf Hunt, attracted by the straining noises coming from Cubicle 3, all we were able to say was, "My, what big eyes you have," before slamming the door and running away in horror. There are just some things that you just can't unsee. However, Hutton authorities are concerned for the welfare of one Hutton commander who is reportedly the target of an enemy assassination squad. He was last seen on security cameras exfiltrating an enemy installation with quantities of settlement defence plans, power regulators, cat media, and an impossibly large sack of LP 734-32 Company branded toilet rolls. They would only refer to him as Murder Snuggles, which we can assume is a cover name to protect his identity. At the overachieving end of the Hutton Systems League, we have 6 systems above 60% and only one barely above 70. Well done for keeping the systems under control in recent weeks. That allows us to plan and control our expansions. Keep exercising restraint over the other systems that get out of hand, and please don't run missions and dump data into systems that are above 60%, and keep monitoring the usual channels for more expansion news. Meanwhile, in Colonia, Imperial High Admiral Air Marshal Generalissimo Hankey, Grand Kazi of all the Colonias, asked that truckers work for hot coal in Doriso and Tyr. Priorities this week are, if you want to truck something, relieve the infrastructure failure in Wolf 359 and keep an eye on conflicts ending in Barnard's Star when you can get back to boosting influence. If you want to shoot something, win the war in Wolf 562 against LP 734-32 Company.
The start of 3308 sees some events coming to a close. Some are dormant for a few days, but there are new ones coming all the time. If you're interested in any of these events, either to watch or to participate, then as usual, links for information will be posted in Twitch chat and also in the description of the YouTube upload. The Comfy Cannon cruise has almost completed its long journey, and we're grateful to Commander Mephisto for keeping us up to date throughout the trip with all their problems and triumphs, and he's got a message for us that might not be the last we hear of this expedition, but hopefully the last time we hear the word mollusk for a long while.
Since my most recent report, the Comfy Cannon cruise visited the last remaining waypoints, and the expedition will be completed with a final jump on Saturday. At waypoints 127 and 128, more collared pods were found and investigated. The lividum kind at the former, and albidum as well as rubicundum at the latter. Anemones could be seen at waypoints 131 and 132, rosium on a hellish planet, and punicum respectively in ice deserts. Fittingly, the remaining waypoints up to number 133, except number 132, all featured gored mollusks. Corellium at 129, Rufum at 130, quite aggressive this one, Albulum at 131, and finally Phoenicium at 133 as the last attraction of the cruise. On Saturday, the 8th of January, the expedition's fleet carrier Kotsu will complete the round trip at Varati, the home of cannon research, after visiting 134 waypoints in 300 days and whilst travelling over 500,000 light years. To celebrate the end of the expedition, the former and remaining passengers, together with the captain, invite all commanders to participate in a mass jump into Variety, coordinated by Commander Mal for the Win, Twitch streamer and co-host of the Flight Assist podcast. If you want to join, gather at Commander Illyrium's fleet carrier, Angel's Share, in HIP 101166 at 2000 UTC, and tune in to Commander Mal for the Win on Twitch. The event will happen on PC and Odyssey in Commander Mephisto's private group. His name is spelled India Victor India Echo Papa Hotel India Sierra Tango Oscar. Please request access beforehand. If you've got a festive flak fireworks launcher from the Winking Cat, be sure to bring it along.
Commander Deluvian has started 3308 with some love.
On day 109, the last day of the year, we managed to reach Mining Camp 5. Today it is already Expedition Day 115, and we are back with more than 6,000 tonnes of tritium in the main cargo hold and another 10,000 tonnes in the depot. Another 1,000 tonnes in the depot. I love my crew. Mining rig improvements are a never-ending story. Spending hours in the ring provides a lot of information for analysis. I realise that my main mining ship now has too many lasers and overheats way too easily. Some tweaks will need to be done. Most probably tonight we will start moving forward and continue visiting all the nebulae in the sky. Next target, just one very short jump away, the Elephant's Trunk Nebula. Another piece of good news is that Commander Elentar is back on the Zodiac. Well, it's good news for me, as he is responsible not only for logistics, but also for security and rescue. And lately, I was very close to getting in trouble again way too many times. I will see you guys in the black. Tonight, the Elephant's Trunk. Tomorrow, who knows?
The Magellan experience is in its last phase now. Commander Richard Flurenis M has this to say: "We have reached Lyra's Song and we are in the midst of Tenebrae, and we published an expedition guide with submitted waypoints, link is in chat, and that up to today 12 commanders have reached Magellan's. LCU No Fool Like One is really excited about seeing how you handle your probinator. He says, "This is your final week to have a go at the Canon Organic Scanning Challenge and win lovely prizes of Dargoid sample flasks and the Canon coin. The competition will be closed at midnight UTC on the 14th of January. All you need to do is video yourself scanning 9 different forms of Tukani on Tukani Sector AF-A D71-4E in as short a time as possible, and then sell them at the nearest Vista Genomics. All of the entries so far can be improved on, so you have every chance of winning something if you enter. Go to https://canon.fyi/challenge to find out how to enter." New Year, New Discoveries 3308, which offers armchair explorers a fleet carrier equipped trip to the core and back, has set off. Commanders Arborich and Luna Sidhara sent this message during the after-launch party.
We had an exact total of 60 ships in our jump, which is pretty astounding considering half of them are new players and the other half were recovering from New Year's Day. We are excited to say we are underway for our expedition, and everyone is having a blast so far. Lots of new discoveries are being made, tons of beautiful vistas are being found, and friends are being made.
Back in the 21st century, astronomers and writers of science fiction could only speculate about what distant stars and planets look like. Commander Kezika's expedition starts on Saturday, January 8th, and if you sign up, you can visit places that your distant ancestors could only dream of. And she says, "Last week, before celebration of early astronomy 4 begins, Find out more or sign up at theexpedition.info. And lastly this week, but definitely not least, Commander Sleepyhead Taryn has organised an event for this Saturday, January the 8th at 2300 UTC to celebrate his fellow night shifter, our fallen comrade Commander Night Ranger. Details are in the Hutton Facebook events page, and Taryn says,
It is time for us to gather and reminisce and celebrate Night Ranger. Night Ranger had an affinity towards the python. At last count, we believe he had 8 pythons to his name, all geared for specific things. So we shall gather in Horizons to ensure anyone who wants to can join. In Hutton space, flying his favourite ship, and will run wing missions for Hutton while we remember him. Join us in TeamSpeak at ts.forthemug.com as we remember our friend.
There's always something to do out there in the galaxy, and I'm here to tell you about them. Remember to email itookpart@huttonorbital.com if you know of any we've missed.
Good evening, and we're back in the studio. I've got my flak jacket on. It's getting a bit warm in this flak jacket, actually, and I'm joined in the studio, as usual, by most of the team this week. We have Amelia. Good evening, Amelia, you're back.
I am. I'm back after my Christmas and New Year break.
And how was your break?
It was great until, we decided to miss Bongs 5 and 6 and go straight into 7. A seamless start to the new year, I think.
5 and 6 and go. Did I fluff something there? Oh, I can't remember.
Well, just look back in the in the script.
Yeah, but the numbers are right.
There's a script.
No, they're right.
Yeah. The numbers are definitely right.
Either way,
me and
seamless
Chicks are always
beginning to the new year.
Yeah, no, they've got special numbers just themselves. 7, 8, 5 and 6 are specially invisible ones. That's what it is.
Especially invisible, I see.
Yes, yeah.
Numbered by Microsoft.
Yeah, well, obviously they're reserved for sort of special guest number 1, and obviously Commander Palantir, who's not here this evening because he is taken Mrs. Palantir off for a minor husbandectomy or a husbandotomy or something. Apparently she's going to be losing 100 kilos of useless fat. Well, that's what he said, and I said you shouldn't put yourself down like that. No, she's got in for some minor procedure, and he is accompanying Mrs. Palantir this evening and caring for her and making sure she recovers nicely. So hope you get well, Mrs. Palantir, and hope you look after properly.
You should hear what he says about you at the end of the show, because he knows that you never listen to the very end of the show. Or so he claims.
Oh, yeah, no, I do. I listen to the start and the end.
Don't
I miss
tell
a
him.
little bit. Yeah.
Don't tell him, Pike.
I listened to the whole thing. No, he told me to say that, you see. He actually gave me those exact words. You can ask him next week when I'm hiding at the other side of the studio, well away from everything.
Behind the sandbags.
Anyway, joining me and Amelia, we have the Apology Officer.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You've got thunder snow again. That's not fair. Well, the news tells me you've got thunder snow either arriving or
up here
or
we had
soon.
How bad is that compared to normal snow?
I don't know,
it's like snow in a thunderstorm.
And it makes
that sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome. I wish we actually had that. What we've really got is just dreich.
Drizzle.
Rain.
Dreich, yes.
It's dreich is the word.
Is it going up your trousers?
Dreich.
It's it's up my kilt.
You don't set trousers up there.
Yes. It's we've just got horrible weather today. Just horrible, cold, windy, and rainy.
It's Glasgow.
No thunder and
So
it's
it's
Glasgow
just
in January.
Regular
So,
t-shirt
typical
weather.
British summer.
Yeah. I mean, the last couple of days we had bitterly cold and bright sunshine, and that was nice. But not today.
No. Well, and joining you alongside you there, you've got Commander Chicks.
Hello. Happy
Good evening,
308, everybody.
You're all much recovered now from your various bouts with mods and post-mods and second
yes,
mods.
largely.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Long
Yeah,
mods? Have you got
largely.
long mods?
They're just very congested.
Yes, but you and your
London for
nearest
you,
and
though.
dearest are all either avoiding it or recovered or feeling much better
Well,
now.
they I'm like I said before, I'm sure they're a replicant because they didn't manage to catch it.
You've done the Void Camp test. You've put a turtle on its back, and
you know you can't get a Void Camp test on the NHS.
No, there's a shortage of Void Camp tests.
If you go to the chemist, they'll give you a Void Camp test. They'll give you a pack with 7 in it.
Yes, something for the weekend, sir.
Yeah, you
So
can find all the
it's
all the
one to
replicants.
find the replicant and 7 for I don't know.
Well,
what
it's you
purposes.
do.
6.
You can find 6 replicants, and you have to use the 7th one yourself to make sure you're not a replicant.
And see, that's where he got it wrong.
Yeah.
And then sitting alongside Chicks, we have Commander Flossy.
Hello.
And how are you this evening, Commander Flossy?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
And you've been doing more volunteering, jabbing people with things violently in their arms, or at least encouraging other people to do it? Or have you been hiding from the volunteering at the moment?
No, she does.
The volunteering it's finished. Well, it'll probably start again soon. But my last one was 18th of December, where I nearly froze to death standing out in the freezing fog.
God.
Of course, we covered all this.
Flossie doesn't stab them. She just lures them in with a trail of biscuits.
I'm a pacifist.
Make sure to go in a few at a time.
Get jabbed or get panned.
I'm a pacifist. Someone else will stab you.
I think Flossie needs that T-shirt. Get jabbed or get panned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Either that, or you could quote what is it, Macron on the front of it. That anyway, I laughed so hard when I read that news back from the year.
What was it he said?
Well, to quote, but not in French, he said, we're not going to make it illegal not to get your vaccines, but we're really going to piss them off until they do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I heard that.
This is a refreshing thing for a politician to say, something human sounding. Doesn't need a Void Camp test for that one.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, it's. I'm sorry for missing last week. I went back in time last week.
Oh, ooh. Do tell.
21.1 gigawatts.
To the
you
future.
went to Dundee.
Yeah, no, I went back to the future. Yes, I thought, having had all my mods and post mods and my long mods and everything else, that I would. And my jabs and everything. I thought, I can't be much safer than I am now. So I thought I'd go and sit around a few members of the public and watch a stage show for the first time in forever, and went to see the adaptation of Back to the Future.
Awesome.
Is it good?
Which is quite spectacular, actually. I mean, I'm very nervous being around lots of other people and all sorts. It was a bit awkward feeling, but masks everywhere, and they're all sort of big signs up, walking up and down at the front saying, you will wear it, and or else. But yeah, it was fantastic, and I have to say the gentleman playing Emmett Brown was either he was completely ad-libbing or it was written to make it sound like he was completely ad-libbing, because the man is a comedic genius. He definitely
We ought to try that with a script at some point. Make it sound like.
What, that we actually
We're
write something
ad-libbing.
down? Yeah, well, yeah, and ad-lib. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the
Laughs in a supportive way.
But it wasn't a slavish. You know, if I want to see the film, I go and see the film. It wasn't slavish.
Yeah.
It was of the same flavour, shall we say?
Did they have did they have the car there in the foyer?
Though the car was flying around above the audience.
Ah, right.
Because where they're going, they don't need roads.
I went to the Albert Hall a few years ago, and they put the film on a big screen and have a live orchestra to do the music. And the car was, if you know the Albert Hall, but out the front behind a rope, and I managed to get out. One of the first people out, so it was like, wow! And the doors are up, and all the flux capacitors all twinkling away. It was very, indicators were flashing. It's very good.
And then the police came and dragged you out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it rained, and the DeLorean rusted on the spot and fell to bits.
I
have to say,
stainless steel.
It doesn't rust.
But Back to the Future, very good, very, very worth it, and a complete blast from the past. Talking of blast from the past, by the way, it was an anniversary this week. I'm not so sure it's not an anniversary today. Or maybe in the last 2 days, a really big Elite-related anniversary, an enormous 8-sided anniversary.
Oh, Tharg. Shall we do happy birthday to Tharg?
Happy Invasion Day to Tharg, yes. How many years is that now? Is that 4? 5?
I thought the invasion day was in December.
I thought it was definitely 18, wasn't it? Because it was a Tharg. No, it wasn't. Was it? That was the other.
Did we have to do the song?
I think we should do the song anyway, but I'm sure it was in December that the stations get attacked.
Well, we obviously didn't celebrate it then, so Tharg gets 2 happy invasion days. He's like the Queen. He gets an official one and a real one, whatever. But we forgot to welcome him back with his happy invasion day. So I don't care whether it's today or not. Happy invasion day, Tharg. No. You haven't won yet.
Yeah. Are we singing the song?
Which song would that be?
Do we have
Happy Invasion Day to you?
Well, can do. Flossy, strike up give me a middle C.
No. That pan is never tuned to C.
Laboratory, hip bop.
Anyway, happy invasion day
to you. Happy invasion day to you. Happy invasion day
to you, Tharg the Mighty.
Happy
invasion day
to you.
And no more.
And hopefully no more.
Hopefully no more.
Well, according to Hackswing this week, the lovely broadcast they send in, there are no more invasions, so he's probably too full of cheese after Christmas or that chutney I left lying around the studio last week.
He'll be at home reading all his cards.
Oh, yeah. He's eating
Did that guys do cards?
I don't know, or oozing on the corners of them. And
he'll be oozing on them. That's what he's doing. He's oozing on all his cards.
Yeah. And then he's going to put them back in the post to a bunch of stations and they're going to catch fire. I mean, that might be the vector. That could be the vector by which stations catch fire. Anyway, so Commander Chicks, was there a Frontier live stream this week?
There was not. And you clearly... There was something earlier that you forgot that we did make. Oh, it was Flossy no longer jabbing or helping jabbing. Because we talked about that in the banter last week. And also in the banter last week. Oh, well, I know. But also in the banter last week, we talked about it. God, hasn't it been a long time since Frontier did a live stream? Well, it's been even longer. It's not been another week. So I checked, as I always do, just to make sure I hadn't been stupid and missed something. But the last stream they did was the 16th of December. So.
Well, that was the one about the interiors, wasn't it? The fleet carrier.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was the special Christmas stream. It came out they did in sort of 2 parts. But who has 3 weeks off for Christmas?
Maybe Arthur's still hungover.
No,
really?
Yes.
I wish I did.
Well, I've got more than 3 weeks, because unfortunately my work got cancelled because of everybody catching mods, which was just rubbish. Anyway,
I think Arf is still wondering where all the rum went.
It could
When was that?
I think he's possibly found where all the rum went and still hung over from finding
somewhere in the back of his mind there.
Because that was the 17th, wasn't it? So,
yes.
It's been 3 weeks.
So, but they did pop up today. We did have the return of the pink cowboy.
Yes.
The pink cowboy?
The pink space cowboy, yes. Sally came back today onto the forums.
Very good.
Apology Officer.
Yes.
This one was for you.
Really?
It was just for you.
Really?
It wasn't for us. No. It was a message directed just for you.
Oh.
Was she trying to console him?
I didn't read it.
You didn't read it? Well,
I haven't read it.
You can't go off on the enormous huff this week.
Right.
The heading says console hotfix plans.
Oh.
And light catch up. I assume that is what happens when you drop out of frame shift. The light does catch up. But yes.
Yeah, but a hotfix.
A hotfix, yeah. Very warm and happy 3308 to you all. It's really great to be back in the black with you on another epic journey across our evolving galaxy with another year set ahead. We're taking time this week to gather our plans, catch up and prepare, so bear with us for a few days on schedules as we get our stars aligned. What Sally is happy to share is the team have been working on a small hotfix for Elite Dangerous console players, and that means you, Apology Officer, to address the following.
I didn't know. Oh, I was going to say I didn't know anything was broken.
Is that a hotfix for small console players? Did you say?
Or a small hotfix for whichever. Yeah.
Yes.
The hotfix is cannot edit fire groups.
Right. Oh, that happened to me once.
Yeah, your utilities.
But mainly it's fine. Yeah, mainly it's fine. Okay.
Apparently, it works fine if you have large optional modules, but if you don't have large optional modules, then it all goes wrong. If your optional module is a smaller variety one, then you're in big trouble.
I think the technical term is mostly good.
Yes.
Right.
It's
That's the shipping forecast term.
I did have it once when my my fire groups had all been unselected, and I couldn't reselect them, and that happened once. And after that, it's been fine. I found some where they weren't selected, but it seems to work. So yeah, well, it's nice to have that fixed because I'm sure it's annoying some people.
Right.
So that's lovely. A hot fix is always welcome.
You read the one down the list there, the common heavy hitters bit where it says.
Well, basically, things people suffer from after Christmas.
Yes.
Performance issues.
Commanders are unable to use the profile analyzer to clone the profile of NPC corpses.
No. Oh dear.
And then there was some infighting about, I can't believe they didn't use the word corpse before. Well, interestingly, they're not supposed to use the word corpse because those people aren't actually dead. They're just resting. Because if they were actually dead, then they'd have to put
critically injured.
They'd have to put an 18 rating on the game. So they're not dead; they are just resting.
Yes.
Yep.
They're stunned. That's what they are. They're stunned.
I saw a wonderful picture on, I can't remember whether it was the forums or a Facebook or whatever, yesterday, about a commander who was particularly upset that he'd managed to blast his way into the power room. The power centre of one of these bases, the PWR building, and shoot everybody into itty-bitty bits, and then one of them had the temerity to fall down across the front of the on-off console, blocking the screen, so the commander, having gone to all that effort, couldn't actually get to the screen to eject the power core.
Bloody good. That's tactical thinking there.
That is dedication to your job.
I was going to say by that corpse, but they're not a corpse.
Yes, I might be dying, but at least I'm going to. Yeah. Anyway,
they're not dying. They're merely pining for the fjords.
That member of the security team was underpaid.
That deserves a medal.
Yeah, they pin it on his chest using the anyway.
Yeah, they
using the right
send
kind
it
of
home.
laser. Yeah.
Just send it home to his parents.
But before I go on to the next one that's written down there, I have to say thank you very much. There was a charity stream as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to say thank you very much to the Older Gamer and the Old Geezers for hosting Cecil for 4 hours on board his ship during a lengthy charity stream, raising money for special effect. Well, congratulations to the team there for raising over £1,000 for special effects and all of their audience and listeners and viewers and everything. So congratulations to Commander Scratch My Knackers, also known as the Older Gamer, and the residents of the Old Geezers Bar for raising all those wonderful pennies, and to Orange Phoenix, who took over the second half of the streaming. They did a live handover halfway through, and then Orange Phoenix of the SPVFA took over halfway through. And I think they raised, it was approximately half each, if you know what I mean. I think it was sort of 500 and some each they raised over the 2 streaming sessions.
Very good.
So, round of applause, congratulations, well done. And as usual, thank you very much to the generosity of the community. They, the streamers give up their time and their energy, but it's obviously all of the people who donate and chuck the spare pennies in the charity tin that are the real superheroes of these things. So well done, everybody. And thanks for giving Cecil back. They did blow up the ship.
Well, you say thanks.
Yeah, well, they blew up the ship he was in and left him floating. Anyway, there's some science this week.
Yeah, proper real science stuff.
Ooh, science.
The Captain Webb telescope thingy.
Yes.
The James Webb.
Swimming across the channel or something. Yes.
Okay. Well, do tell more. But
Latest bit of, well, we covered the... Go on. Apology officer, you do it.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Well, the Giant Space Telescope, which is now going out past the moon on its way to Lagrange Point 2, has managed to deploy its sun shield so it doesn't get burnt. And that's the big tinfoil bit at the bottom, which is opened up into a massive kind of elongated diamond shape.
It's not big, like a big space turkey then.
Yeah, but it's got like 5 layers of this stuff.
Like a big parasol for ladies in the sun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's deployed that now. That's deployed, and it's working on the mirrors now, which are going to And the mirrors, I don't know if they're made of beryllium. I caught a wee bit of this earlier in the news.
They are made of beryllium, yeah.
They're made of beryllium, yeah.
With a gold. They're coated with gold.
Yeah.
So it's nice and shiny.
Somewhere in the region of, there's a lot of beryllium, isn't there? How much? Is it 45 tons of beryllium? It can't be. It can't weigh 45 tons.
No, this whole telescope only weighs 6.2.
Yeah.
But no, they use beryllium because it's about 2/3 of the weight of aluminium, but it's about, in terms of stiffness, because you want this thing not to move very much.
Yeah.
It's about 6 times stiffer than steel. So that's quite some properties there. And a fun fact for your next, not that it'll ever come up in a pub quiz, but beryllium is transparent to X-rays as well. So it's used in medical applications and all kinds of stuff. It's really neat stuff.
Now, next time I have an X-ray, I'll remember not to wear my beryllium underpants to protect the unmentionables from the X-rays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there is a gold coating on the mirrors as well. You see how they look that kind of yellowy goldy colour? There's actually a gold coating on there, but it's so thin that all the gold used to coat it is something like 50 grams of gold.
Yeah, it's a couple of ounces. The coatings are literally just hundreds of atoms thick.
But the purpose of this, obviously, is a replacement for the good old-fashioned poor, long-serving telescope that's been up there for 20, 30, 400, whatever it is, years.
Well, 30 years.
30 years, and obviously was broken when it went up, and they had to have spacewalks to fix it. And obviously this one, you can't do spacewalks to fix it because it's not in the same place. It's an awful long way away over at Lagrange Point. So they can't do spacewalks to fix this one. So they've just got their fingers crossed. They've just thrown it up in the air, closed their eyes, put their fingers in their ears, and gone, "God, I hope that works." 10 billion pounds of, oh my goodness, hope it works.
You can imagine, though, when the first sort of the space hobos go out there and they find this thing floating around in space, in 25, whatever it was. And they go, "Oh, look at that. Oh, it's gold." And then if somebody gets a penknife, they get the Swiss Army knife, and a little scratch, go, "Oh, it's only gold-plated."
Yeah.
Bloody rubbish.
Bloody rubbish.
It was solid.
It's got beryllium, though.
Beryllium.
So it's going to go out there. It's going to take pictures, and it's going to take pictures of really, really, really early stars. Now, I did notice, bringing this back to the world of Elite and the forums, that as soon as this news came out, that it had successfully launched, there had to be somebody posting on the forums, does this telescope mean that Elite is done for? And the response to most of that was, a what?
What?
Yeah, because it means it's all wrong. This telescope being launched means Elite's all wrong.
It means it turns out Elite isn't true, it's only made up.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it said. And everybody was like, step away from the onion head, really.
Yes.
Stop.
Well, you can imagine in 6 months' time, whoever the poor sod at Frontier is that has to plug all the planets we know about into the games, going, "Oh my God, there's bloody thousands of them."
Well, even our solar systems get planets, and the solar systems get planets in there that we don't know exist.
Well, as I understand it, they've been so accurate with the simulation that everyone they've found so far, the devs have turned around and go, "Yeah, that one, we got that one. Yeah, we got that one. Let's just stick a name on it. Okay, we called it that. We'll change its name. Okay,
and there
was it Trappist and all those ones? Yeah, we got that one.
There's things in there that we know actually exist as well, like things like the Pleiades and various nebulas and things like that. But we know they exist anyway.
Well, somebody tell Tharg that the Pleiades is a myth, and maybe he'll bugger off somewhere else.
Yeah, well, the Pleiades is real, isn't it?
Well, you can see it. I can look out of my house right now, and
you can look at your house. Yeah. Beetlejuice, you can go and look out, and if you look at Orion's belt,
you don't go peeping at Beetlejuice. Husband will give you a slap.
Speaking of just quickly going back to Orion's belt, is if anybody has any way of sort of looking at the night sky, telescope or a camera or something like that.
Eyes, yes.
Well, you won't see it with the naked eye, but Webb is currently just to the left of Orion's belt.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we know where.
So if you took a time-lapse photograph, for instance, if you obviously over some period of time, not just 25 seconds, which is about the minimum a fixed camera would start to get blur from movement of the Earth, you might pick it up. I saw a photograph of somebody had captured it, and it was like, "Oh, that's clever."
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all space is a myth. It doesn't exist. No, we're flat.
It's a simulation.
Flying through space on the back of a flat disc on elephants.
It'll hit the underside of the dome and come crashing down.
Like the Truman Show.
No, it's turtles all the way down.
Yes.
Yep.
But exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to when they actually turn it on and they send us the high definition photographs back. Not right, because at the moment there's lots that come back sort of colorized artists' impressions. This is what it would like if you were flying through the rings of Jupiter. Hopefully, we'll get some good high res pictures of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm wondering if they're going to put it into the game at some point as well. That would be nice.
Well, no, it unfortunately, unlike its predecessor, it doesn't have a long lifespan. It is not designed to go for 30 years. I think it's got a mission duration of about 10.
It would still be.
Yeah, but it'll still be there.
Well, assuming nobody's bumped into it in their, further launch.
Well, Voyager 2 and New Horizons are all where they're supposed to be.
But I think they were designed to, not quite so. Well, maybe they will last a long time. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't think Hubble is still in.
You could go and look at it.
Yeah.
Because I think with such a big science story and such a big thing in the news, if it turned up in game, it would generate a lot of interest. People go, I'm going to look at that thing.
That would be quite cool.
I think the reason Hubble isn't there is Hubble is relatively low Earth orbit, so at some point it would deorbit. Yeah. And you can imagine the amount of crud that's accumulated up there. There will be a program. In fact, I was watching a program about it earlier where they they want to introduce a plate onto all new satellites where a future, I was going to say, space hoover.
Yes.
But you can't hoover things in space. That would be Dyson.
That's what they mean.
If they don't call it Nunu with a floppy nose, I'm going to be upset. Yep.
So
it's got a nose, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Chicks.
What?
It's got a nose.
Who's got a nose?
The satellite that's coming to deorbit them.
Yeah, it's got a big sucky nose, and it grabs it with a big sucky nose, and
it's magnetic. It's got a big magnetic thing that clamps onto the plate, and then it swings it around and drops it into orbit and lets it go.
Yeah. Amelia, what did we say about space technology? It's one of three things, isn't it? Like that keeps you attached to the floors, makes the cups work, and sorts out deorbiting satellites. It's either
Velcro.
Okay.
Or
sucky fans.
Sucky fans?
Big sucky fans.
Velcro or sucky fans. Or
magnets. Magnets?
Yeah, you see, everything can be solved with one of those three things.
This was when we first discovered that people were having drinks in the bar on Hutton Orbital and other orbital stations that don't have any gravity.
And have pot plants.
Well, my vote would be for Velcro.
Yeah.
Of course, you'd have to have the corresponding Velcro for it to really.
Well, this is the thing. If you've got Velcro on the back of your flight suit,
but it's noisy.
That's how Sleepy Pete on his seat stays on his seat with Velcro, and all the trash, the discarded pizza boxes, they stay on the floor because of the sucky fans underneath the floor, underneath the grating.
Sucky fans. Is that the technical term?
And they obviously use small. Ferromagnetic particles in your drinks, so with magnets in the cup, so they stay in. Maybe I have no idea. Right,
and also
that could be a rares right there.
Was that pioneered by Iron Brew?
Yeah, definitely made from girders. But
made in
the other
space.
thing is,
yes,
literally
the other thing,
made from girders.
But the other thing is that when you take a drink of these ferromagnetic particles, they're all drawn towards the magnets on the floor, so your drink heads in the right direction.
Yep. Keeps you upright.
Right, okay.
But actually,
your drink heads down the way like it's supposed to.
Actually, if you want to know how the drinks work that are on the bar, this was all told to you 7 years ago. It was told to you exactly.
They sell drinks at the bar?
Yeah, well, near the bar, under the bar, but not at the bar.
No.
I think you have to lean over and help yourself, because if you were to read the book by Michael Brooks, the official tie-in book for Elite Dangerous,
I thought you were going to say the official
it tells
Michael
you in
Brooks.
there exactly how the drinks work.
Legacy,
that's the one. If you haven't read it, go get it, because the only reason for getting it, is to find out about the drinks, then you'll find out about drinks. If not, you'll find out lots of other things as well. But yes, it tells you in that book exactly how the drinks work. So the devs did think about it 7 years ago, before we could even walk around in space stations. So there you go.
And what's the name of the book?
Elite Legacy. Michael Brooks.
Yep.
Michael Brooks.
By Michael Brooks, who used to be the executive producer when Elite was first launched. Lovely chap, big axe, huge beard.
And his Wellington, the German Shepherd.
Yep. Happy Moon Monkey says, Velcro bums is genius. Well, Velcro bums, yes. Velcro bums
Velcro
on the
bums,
bums
obviously.
in the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Velcroed in the bum of your spacesuit, obviously.
We're going to have to inspect the seats in the fleet carriers to see whether they've got little Velcro strips on them so you can attach yourself to them.
I demand the appropriate sound effect.
Because you wouldn't want Flossy going into one of those jumps, those swirly, it's not frame shift, they go for witch space, don't they, on the fleet carriers? Swirly frame shift jumps without her bum being Velcroed to the seat. Would you, Flossy?
No.
Right, talking obviously of Flossy and rest of the show, we do have, I think, something from you coming up in a little bit, Flossy?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes,
we might have some news from you this week, possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
And then we've got Beetlejude and Wotherspoon with the Galnet News Digest, which I think has finished downloading. I might push a button, it might work.
It's there.
It's the gigabytes and it's there, but I don't know if it got here. That's the thing on this side of the desk. It may not have reached this side of the desk yet. And we've got the Hutton Helper results. Who's standing up? That's the Velcro going again,
That's Velcro going up.
Yeah. And we've got some Hutton Helper results.
Yes.
And then Amelia.
Yes.
Are you ready for this week's one?
I surely hope so.
You have a big one this week. You've had 3
No
weeks.
comment.
You've had 3 weeks to test this one out.
I really? No, I've had like 10 minutes.
No, you had 3 weeks to prepare for this one.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
I was drunk.
I was, well, not drunk, but relatively
Hammered.
contentedly oblivious.
That is a situation normal for a Galnet Res Digest. It's after you've tried them anyway. Okay, so I think I have a magic button here, Flossy. I'm just trying to find it on the console here. It's been weeks.
Aardvark.
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 Go away.
Especially not when I haven't got a button marked Flossy here. I'm sure I have. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one.
Aardvark.
It's not that one. It's not that one.
Aardvark.
Who's hidden me a Flossy button? Was it a week last time I was doing it when there was no Flossy news?
No.
There hasn't been any.
There's always a Flossy section, even if there's not CG
Well, yeah.
news. There's always a section.
There's always something going on.
No, you see, I'm still at complete loss. My console has. You see, my seams on my console are beginning to show.
You've got a console?
Yep.
So it's not seamless.
I don't have any seams, I was going to say.
There's a
I only have
there's a
Velcro.
random button, and there's a content button. What's under the content button? I could push random button. Oh, there's another button here. There's a
Palantir back next week
somewhere. Hang on a second. This is either the start or the end. Hang on.
This will be fine in the edit.
No, there goes done. We've got
That's
the
the end.
now.
Yay! It was nice while it lasted.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what.
That was great.
Is it Beetlejude and Wotherspoon now?
I've got the alternate one. Hang on, let's try the alternate one. How about that one?
Yay!
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's Community Goals News. Good news, CGs are back! Yay! Colonia Bridge Project, third phase, Alcor and Colonia. Brewer Corporation intends to improve the travel corridor between the Alcor and Colonia systems by constructing several new starports. The previous two phases of the Colonia Bridge project established stationary megaships in 56 systems. These provide rest, refuel and repair facilities for vessels making the 22,000 light-year journey to and from the Colonia region. A press release from Brewer Corporation outlined this latest initiative. Phase 3 aims to enhance the Colonia Bridge by building permanent starports in key locations along the route. These will offer a wide range of services to travellers and also serve as homes for the many new communities that we expect to spring up around them. Our plan is to construct up to 5 starports branching out from Alcor and 1 starport in the vicinity of Colonia. Starport structures will be assembled by the 27th of January, with additional services scheduled for implementation at a later date. Pilots are asked to deliver ceramic composites, computer components and thermal cooling units to McDonald Settlement in the Alcor system or Jack Station in the Colonia system. Should deliveries reach sufficient levels, the top 75% of contributors will be awarded an engineered frameshift drive with increased range and faster boost sequence. These will be placed in storage at McDonald Settlement or Jack Station. The top 5 contributors in Alcor and the highest contributor in Colonia will be invited to submit naming suggestions for the new starports. All name submissions will be subject to review by the Brewer Corporation Board of Directors. Each tier reached in Alcor will enable Brewer Corporation to add the following to the Colonia Bridge route. Module rewards are also decided by the final tier achieved. Tier 1, 1 starport framework assembled. Tier 2, 1 additional starport framework. Tier 3, 1 additional starport framework and modified 3A frameshift drive. Tier 4, 1 additional starport framework and modified 4A frameshift drive. Tier 5, 1 additional starport framework and modified 6A frameshift drive. Tier 6, all additional commodities delivered will count towards personal contribution totals. Rewards tiers are cumulative and higher tiers will include rewards from lower tiers. In Colonia, achieving the first tier target will enable Brewer Corporation to begin construction of a starport close to the Colonia system. All 3 module reward classes will be made available at this tier. So Tier 1 is 1 starport husk plus modified 3A, 4A and 6A frameshift drives. Tier 2, all additional commodities delivered will count towards personal contribution totals. Note: the module rewards for this initiative are pre-engineered and cannot be modified further, though the active experimental effects can be changed. The campaign begins on 6th of January and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, it will end immediately. To earn rewards, you must sign up as an active participant before delivering ceramic composites, computer components and thermal cooling units to McDonald Settlement in the Alcor system or Jack Station in the Colonia system. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do. Ooh. Flossy?
Yes?
I have questions.
Oh, I hope they're not too hard.
What's a starport framework?
I presume it's the...
And how do I get one? Do they deliver a starport framework to my nearest outfitting for me? I'd like a starport. I mean, assuming the modified 3A frameshift drive. It's a pity it's not a modified 6A frameshift drive with what's the full line there that we don't remember? With caustic effect.
Oh, no.
Half. Yeah. But I'm assuming a starport framework is just scaffolding.
I presume it will just the sort of outside.
But the other one is a starport husk.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that is.
A uniquely augmented starport husk with increased caustic damage and capacity half, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, what is a starport husk? What is a starport framework? It's almost worth reaching at least tier 2 in the first one and at least tier 1 in the second one to find out what a starport husk and starport framework are. Are these new visual assets? I have no idea.
No idea. No.
Is it different to a star? I don't know. I don't know, but I'll be eager to see it. It might be worth actually travelling out to Colonia just to see what it is. And of course, your note was an important one, just in case anybody didn't hear it. The pre-engineered modules cannot have additional engineering added to them.
But they can have the experimental effects.
Yes.
This time.
Yeah. Okay. Just thank you very much for that clarification while I found the right buttons on the on the console here. Now, talking of the buttons on the console, I have a button on the console here that is marked Galnet. Something is about to happen. It might be Beetlejude, it might be Wotherspoon, or the console might catch fire and blow up, and then we'll all cry and put seams in it, and then we'll have to unpick the seams later. So sit back, everybody. I believe this should be this week's Galnet News Digest.
Galnet News Digest, 6th of January 3308. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Orissa missing as future emperor lionized. Cain condemns Sirius guard dog. Salvation Azimuth connection alleged by Ramtar. NMLA tech linked to Imperial intelligence.
Emperor Orissa was notable by her absence at the traditional New Year celebration on Emerald, which was hosted by Princess Aisling. After a break last year due to the death of Prince Harold, the party was bigger and better than ever. The star attraction for many was baby Hector Mordanticus, who was brought along by his proud parents Prince Hadrian and Lady Astrid. Many of the senators, courtiers and dignitaries who posed for photographs alongside the sleeping month-old baby have been describing him as the future emperor. Hadrian and Astrid proved almost as popular as their baby, describing amusingly their life as lowly commanders, when they flew tiny fighters, often escaping by the seat of their pants from exciting encounters with pirates, but always somehow winning through. Their rehabilitation into the imperial family appears to be complete. But whereas Prince Hadrian and Lady Astrid have felt able to leave their hiding place following the rout of the NMLA, Emperor Orissa seems to have remained in hiding. Concerns have already been expressed over the youthful 64-year-old emperor's health, but the reason for her continued absence from the public gaze remains a mystery. But perhaps with baby Hector to fawn over, Imperial society won't start worrying about her continued absence quite yet.
Councillor Nakato Kane has roundly condemned a new treaty between Sirius Corporation and the Alliance. Details of the treaty are unclear as the decision was made in closed session, but it appears that the Alliance Assembly and the Council of Admirals both voted by a narrow margin to commission the Sirius Corporation to assist with anti-Xeno operations. As an Alliance strategic defence partner, Sirius, which has a sizable navy of its own, will, according to Prime Minister Mahan, provide ships, materials and personnel exclusively to help with defence against Thargoids, which Mahan described as an increasing threat, despite the substantially reduced Thargoid presence in the past fortnight. Mahan speculated that the failure of the Federation and Empire to sign his Sirius Treaty and the consequent suspension of Aegis might have encouraged the Thargoids to attack. He didn't mention Salvation's recent strike against the Thargoids in the Pleiades, but he made cryptic reference to Sirius being granted access to certain financial endeavours in return for its military assistance. Councillor Kane has previously expressed her concern about Alliance expansionism and Mahan's deals with Sirius. She described the latest deal to hire Sirius to be the Alliance's guard dog as a blow to the Alliance's identity and criticised the secrecy surrounding the pact, which means both the details of the support being offered and the payment the Alliance will make remain secret.
Ramtar has accused Salvation of using the technology that killed the crew of the Proteus 200 years ago. Speaking for the defence at the court-martial of Admiral Aidan Tanner, Tarr explained that he'd analysed the samples of Salvation's classified experimental equipment that Professor Albert Tesreau arranged to be delivered to Fleestock in Mean, and found them almost identical to the samples retrieved from the ancient Guardian Thargoid battlefield discovered by a research team from Azimuth Biochemicals back in 3113. That crew of the Anaconda Proteus were killed by a massive radiation surge from the weapon, and their discovery remained unknown until the site was rediscovered in June 3307. Tarr said he believed that Salvation has been constructing far larger versions of the weapon, which works by generating a series of enormous electromagnetic pulses at frequencies tuned to disrupt Thargoid technology. He also explained that the use of Guardian technology within the weapon will attract Thargoid attention, meaning that preparing the weapon may trigger a Thargoid invasion. This may explain why the otherwise unremarkable Cornsar system was invaded by Thargoids 2 days after Salvation began preparing his secret weapon there in September last year. After hearing Engineer Tarr's evidence, the Federal Navy Criminal Court temporarily suspended the court-martial, which has been hearing evidence that Admiral Tanner disobeyed orders while trying to find out the nature of the superweapon Salvation has been using. The implication of Engineer Tarr's evidence to the court are not yet clear.
A whistleblower has claimed that Republican terror group the NMLA used secret communications technology developed by the Empire, suggesting that the NMLA may have had insiders in Imperial intelligence. Captain Saskia Landau of ACT claims to have knowledge of an Imperial secure network known as the Omega Grid from her time working in Imperial intelligence. She was later seconded from the Imperial Internal Security Service to the affiliated counter-terrorism unit, where she discovered that the NMLA Dark Comms network seemed remarkably similar to the Omega Grid. Landau shared her findings with ACT's leadership, but she also decided to make the information public due to her fears that the NMLA may have supporters at the very heart of the Empire. The manner of escape of the Theta Group from the Serene Harbour Interrogation Centre in January last year suggests that they have friends in high places. Although the NMLA is believed to have been defeated, sympathisers within the Imperial mechanism may present an ongoing threat to security. Unnamed sources working in Imperial intelligence have confirmed that the Omega network exists. However, neither Imperial intelligence nor the Senate have responded to Landau's claims.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.
Thank you, Commanders Beetlejude and Wotherspoon. Now, as usual, it's time for the apology officer to tell us who has earned a decal, who probably already has one, and all that other competitive stuff. Over to Hutton Helper results.
Okay, I'll just get myself comfortable. Oh, yes. Well, welcome to the first Hutton Helper results of 3308. The Hutton Helper results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a bottle of whiskey, salt, a lump of coal and some black bun. This week we have the following events. The New Year's Day walk to Star 1, Shield. The delivering all the New Year's steak pies, General Sir Anthony Cecil Hogmanay Milkchip Memorial. The First Footer Deja Vu Trophy. The Should Old Acquaintance Be Forgot, I'll Still Remember You've Got a Bounty Trophy. The You Said New Year's Instead of New Year Obliteration Special. And the Taxi Home at 3 times the price Extravaganza. So, may your lawmaker get your bounties in before the bells and never Trust a man who wears brown boots on a Sunday. You heard it here first. This week's Hutton Helper results are: Zebedian wins distance travelled this week with 63,000 light years. Light 027 sold 161,000 tonnes of goodies to become first in cargo sold. Top mission runner is the Berk, who managed to get a score of 312 mission points. Alex Zuno won bounties with exactly 1 billion credits worth of bounties handed in. Mad Seeker handed in 449 million credits of combat bonds to top table. Wolf Legion delivered 2,093 passengers safely to their destination, so that is the decal for Wolf Legion. Please email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of leftover tinsel, the bottom half of a Christmas tree, 2 dreidels and some turkey and tinfoil. There were 5 Hutton runs this week. Ka Dargo was fastest with a time of 1 hour, 23 minutes and 42 seconds, putting them in 57th place. Hot and Kaz Heels was the architect of the Hutton Helper, and Tari's Fusion, who made his run in 1 hour, 23 minutes and 46 seconds for 66th place. 3 seconds behind Antarius was Simmons with 1 hour, 23 minutes and 49 seconds, and that put him in 70th place. Next was Smokey, who logged a time of 1 hour, 24 minutes and 7 seconds for 133rd place. And last on the list this week was Bograt, who came in at 1 hour, 24 minutes and 15 seconds, which puts them in 156th place overall. So, are you more bloated, even fartier, and just about all the way asleep after the festivities? Perfect, just add an X stain to your vest and you'll fit right in at Hutton. Anyway, new year, new you. Got all the exercise you need by signing up for the Hutton Helper and getting out there to run around the Hutton systems, bench pressing cargo canisters, beating up pirates and punching a Scorpion SRV in the face. Just go to hot.forthemug.com and download or sign up for the all-new Hutton Helper before going outside to do all of those things. Let's face it, anything has to be better than waking up in Colonia on the 1st of January with a hangover from hell and then someone starts playing bagpipes. So, that's it for this week. Back to Studio 5.
Thank you very much, Mia. Now, sit back, have a comfy seat, get yourself a drink, because it is time for the return of the Galnet Res Digest.
Good evening. This is Amelia Hawke reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest. We try all the galaxy's rarest and most dangerous commodities, so you don't have to. Dance. Ever since pre-humans realised that bashing 2 rocks together in a rhythmic way encouraged their fellow pre-humans to start tapping their feet and singing along, humanity has been in love with dance. From tribal rituals to formal affairs, parties around the campfire, right through to endless TV competitions dragging C-list celebrities into parading around on a Saturday night attempting an Argentine tango without giggling every time they try and look serious. Dance has been part of humanity's idiom for hundreds upon hundreds of generations. And, unless you're exceedingly elegant and skilled, without music, or at least a funky beat, dancing is just lurching around the place looking strange and standing out from the crowd. Unless you're all doing it at the same time, in which case, without music, it looks like a bizarre activity designed to attract the attention of some older gods, or maybe make rain happen. Dances can be mating rituals, they can be a way to show off your physical prowess, to feel part of the in-crowd, or express your individualism. They're an art form, an exercise, and a way of lifting the spirits. However, Many human beings are cursed with what's affectionately known as two left feet, a symptom suffered by many bipedal species, and even with the aid of a particularly catchy tune, for them, dancing resembles nothing short of the flailing of some kind of wheat thrashing machine, that kind of move you make when you realise something's just crawled up the back of your shirt, or have started stomping like you're dealing with an invasion of fire ants. This is where biologists over at Geawen stepped in. In their hunt for the ultimate dance enhancer, they turned to the natural world, and after a few generations of genetic splicing, managed to create an organism that secretes just the right chemical mixture to turn even the most awkward of dancers into a virtuoso toe-tapping performer. They took DNA from the Delta bavonis ear grub, known for creating auditory hallucinations and opening humans to suggestions, and crossed it with a modern descendant of the Mexican jumping bean, or more accurately, the larva that causes them to jump. The resulting grub, as it grows, sheds its skin, and powdered and sold as Geawen dance dust, has been quite a profound effect on anyone ingesting or breathing it. It stimulates various parts of the brain, first those associated with memories of music, then those associated with movement, and provides those exposed to the dance dust with both an uncontrollable urge to dance, but also the perfect tune to dance to, all within the confines of their own head. It gives the user timing, poise, confidence, and grace, turning even the most ordinary of toe-tapping wedding dad into a veritable master of the Saturday Night Fever, Argentine tango, or even allowing him to break out into the kind of Irish jig that brings tears to the eyes. It's not just an impulse, it's a compulsion. Those exposed to the dust must dance, and can't, even if they wanted to, stop. There have been tales of warring factions attempting to weaponize the dance dust, carpet bombing their opposition with it in the hopes that all resistance would evaporate. It would have worked had their opposition not been going through a craze of traditional Scottish music, and the ensuing claymore-wielding, sword-dancing backfired, turned the entire enemy not into a waltzing troupe incapable of putting up an opposition, but a wild-eyed, frenzied, kilt-wearing, sword-wielding bunch of dervishes. All of this sparked off by one lone piper who got the shock of his life when he realised that someone was A, listening, and B, dancing along. Other nefarious attempts have been made, and there are rumours of groups of assassins who take a dash of the dance dust before an encounter, and after years of training, whilst listening to just the right kind of music, naturally fall into graceful ninja moves. Ninja Morris dancers being, of course, the most dangerous of these. This is the important part. You've got to have the right kind of music going on inside your head when the dance dust takes hold. If your latest earworm from a tune you've just heard is just a second before the Birdie song, or the Hokey Cokey, then once the dust kicks in, you'll be getting some very funny looks. Admiring ones, maybe, for your bravery in public, and quite how artfully you're dancing to them, but funny looks nonetheless. Then, of course, there's the joker that drops a bag of the stuff in the mosh pit of a thrash metal gig and stands back to watch as the crowd batters each other senseless. And therein lies the danger from this rare. Made from other rare items, so it's doubly hard to find, but it comes with warnings. Number 1, make sure you've got the right kind of tune in your head, or have been listening to the right music before you partake of the dance dust. Number 2, clear a large area around you. There's nothing like trying out river dance while standing in the line at the bus stop, or a full Argentine tango whilst you're on your own, or in a tiny bedsit surrounded by breakable objects. Number 3, dance gust is an activity best employed in company, but for goodness sake, make sure you're all thinking of the same tune before you start. You wouldn't want one of you all going American smooth whilst the others launched into a Charleston. Number 4, do not not attempt to take dance dust on high gravity worlds. One attempt at that scene from Dirty Dancing, and you'll put your back out. Number 5. Do not exceed the stated dose. Prolonged exposure to too much dance dust could quite literally have you Venus waltzing yourself into an early grave through sheer exhaustion attempting to maintain a good posture. That said, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I've just thrown a bag of the stuff into the air around my head and I'm taking a deep breath. The things I do for Galnet Rare's Digest. Okay. Nothing much happening yet. Oh, I'm getting something. Okay. Something I heard in the Apex taxi on the way here. There's a beat starting in the back of my brain. And some words. I can actually hear the words. I said a hip, hop, the hippie to the hip, hip, hop. You don't stop the rocket to the bang, bang, boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie, the beat. No, I can't start breakdancing. Oh, how long does this say will last? Oh, crikey. This is Amelia Hawke. Hip-hop hopping to the funky beats that you don't have to. I'm just glad they didn't play Flight of the Bumblebee.
Amelia, the way you just did that spin on your head, I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
This I just can't stop.
I didn't know you had it in you.
I know, right? I just can't stop. It's so good.
You're throwing some shapes out there. I mean, I would definitely injure myself dancing like that. And I've never seen it done so well as well. I mean, we can't hear the beat. We can definitely see the beat.
There's an electric boogaloo there.
Yes.
We should get a big bag of this stuff, all listen to different songs, and throw this in the air of the radio studio and just watch the chaos.
Either the worst or best silent disco ever.
Oh, it's one of those silent discos where everyone's listening to a different earworm in their head. Yes. So Flossy, I mean, we see you and Wrongway waltzing around the studio, to that one. With the green dance dust, the two of you,
dancing away to interstellar initiatives.
Yep. And also, what about you, Apology Officer? I mean, what would be the earworm that sets you off with a toe tapping?
Oh, well, since I'm in Hotbox, it would have to be the stick song.
How do you dance to stick, sticky, stick? I mean, do you
stick, sticky, sticky, stick.
You throw shapes with your hands in the air.
Oh no, there's a back and there's music goes with it as well. I mean, I'm just reciting the words, but there is music that goes with it.
No, I'm thinking about the dance. How do you dance like a stick, sticky, stick?
Oh, that's what the dance dust is for. I don't need to think about that.
Oh, it just does it for you.
It just does it for me. I just go with the flow.
And Commander Chick's. No, I don't think Commander Chick's space. I think he may have caught some of the dance dust, and he's just two-stepped out the side of the studio there.
He's off down the corridor now.
oh well. It's giving me a cough, that stuff as well. Oh, it gets you right in the back of the throat, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yes.
Oh, he started a conga line right towards Airlock 3.
Oh God, no, he's got the spaniels involved.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone.
He'll be floating past the window in a minute.
Yeah, we'll do. So yeah, I have no idea what tune will be going off in the back of my head. As long as it isn't the one to Rocky, and I start sort of shadow boxing in the middle of the studio. That would no. I mean, I'm
trying to run up all the stairs in 0G.
Oh, have you seen how many stairs there are? I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
Anybody who's flown out to Hutton, you see that long tower that comes out one side with the flashing light on the top of it and a little studio. That's where our studio is.
That's a big aerial.
No, our studio's at the top there. If you look through the windows, you can actually see us up at the very, very top there.
We're in the upper rotunda.
Yeah, the upper
rotunda. The hotbox offices
are
at, and budget clothes for you are in the lower rotunda.
But do you know how many stairs there are on the way up? And when that lift isn't working or it's occupied by people going up and down...
732.
Yeah. I've broken a sweat more than once climbing up the stairs to the studio.
Graham and Kay say... Sorry, you go. Graham MK says the Badger song.
Yeah, Badger song. Stick song's not that different, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine an endless 4-hour marathon of the YMCA, how knackered you'd be at the end of that. And you'd still get the C backwards every single time, because everybody always does. Unless you're looking from the other side.
Yes.
Yeah. But, well, we will have to find out from Chicks, maybe next week, what the going dance dust did to Chicks and why he had to run out the studio quite so quickly. Either that, or he's running down the 700 stairs to the middle and the 700 stairs down to the lower rotunda to go
732.
Yeah, which is 1464.
1464, yeah.
All the way to the cubicle, because cubicle 3 is out of commission again. I think, I don't know, the old geezer's bar occupants may have needed to use it when they landed. They didn't heed the warnings. A couple of them fell in. There's now decontamination going on. You know, they're going to be in hospital for weeks, those guys. It's just not nice. Really not nice. Right, I think my buttons are working for the end of the show. Before we shout aardvark at everybody, is there anything else anybody would like to add? Flossy or Amelia or the apology officer before we push the button and hope everything works?
Just thing.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say a quick thank you to Commander Mick, RO45, who kept me company last night in Nabatian.
Ah, yes, it was you guys that won.
Yeah, it was us in the low combat zones. It was us that won, definitely.
All you. Yeah, if anybody from the Paladins is still listening, but yes, it was all Team Hotbox in Aberdeen. The rest of us were over in Sugrovik. Yep.
It was both of us.
Yes. Though I do understand that Commander Graham MK is attempting to solo Wolf 562. Just for the kudos of being able to solo
anybody can do it, you can do it.
Exactly, soloing a whole system. I mean, that's a proper Hutton challenge, that one.
Yeah. So I think we'd best get back to Amelia, because I think I kind of stole a Thunder Snow there.
Oh, no, you never steal my thunder.
No, Thunder Snow is different.
Thunder Snow.
Thunder Snow. I really want to see Thunder Snow. This is going to be put on my bucket list.
Oh, Chicks, you've danced all your way back into the studio.
I know,
I mean, what was that move you were pulling out in the concourse there with the Spaniels? I mean, and the Spaniels in perfect time. I think Spaniels got a whiff of it as well.
That was I hope I don't poo myself before I get to cubicle 2.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's the. Can I? It's like going down the stairs. You know, like a bit like in some of those the older movies where they start at the top of a flight of stairs and then dance all the way down with a cane and a top hat. I mean, the virtual cane you were holding was quite impressive.
Yes, and Angela Rippon. He's got Angela Rippon as well,
with legs going all the way up the stairs.
All the way up. Yes.
Yep.
So I put a link to the stick song in the chat.
I've just seen Hober's popped up in chat, so now I've got the Narwhal song on my head.
Welcome back, Hober.
Well, there he is, evening all.
Yeah, no, Hober's back, yay! And Hober's back, and apparently Hober's been going on foot into combat zones without the right armour or the right guns. I think he's just been attempting to dirty Hober people on foot.
Is he just running in a giant nappy?
Exactly. He's just running in really fast and crashing into people until they fall over, is the way he does combat zones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Right, well, welcome back, Hober. Thank you very much to the listener, or the listeners. And we will see you again, what is it, next week? Thursday-ish, assuming Thursday's still on the same day it always is, at around 20:30 until around now-ish, 2200. We were 2200, but I've gone 4 minutes over, so you'd better aardvark me quick.
Aardvark!
Aardvark.
For the mug!
For the mug!
No warning of that.
I wasn't ready for that. You mug.
Cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-9s to the brim with grain. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front. sing the Hutton trucker song. To go cruising to Hutton, whoa, 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 no journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. For the mud, yeah, you know just where I'm coming from. For the mud. Now everybody sing the Hutton trucker song. For the mud, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mud, now everybody sing the Hutton trucker song.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?